this Friday, and we're now at the 14th of October, 2022. Raining, or snowing rather, in Minnesota, in parts of Wisconsin. That's what I heard today. All right, winter's here. I know we're cold in Chicago. We're in the 40s right now. Follow through from yesterday. The market was fighting this morning to see which way it would go. It's resolved itself. I mean, it's a monster rally off the lows of the day. For those of you, and I'm going to say it, I can't help myself. If you've taken the enhanced Bollinger Band course that I have, it's on our website. I'll talk about it at the end of this. And you take a look at yesterday's action. You tell me how many markets hit the lower Bollinger Band and then turned around. The other event of yesterday, if I had had the numbers of the CPI ahead of time, and I read Lloyd Blankfein said the same, there were many traders. If you had them and you were to guess the day's action as the markets opened, there is no way you could have come up with that turnaround that we saw yesterday. It's just one of those events where bad news triggered a massive covering rally in the market that's not over yet. You've got the shorts hurt. They're probably buying their way out of this market. They were hoping this morning to get a little bit of a reprieve. I don't think that they saw that. The dollar's up, which makes sense off that report. Most currencies are lower. Metals are down as it guarantees another headwind. What's going to happen here? Well, the Fed's going for 75 basis points, possibly 100 if they want to get really gutsy about it. In the grain markets, just a mixed bag. I am concerned, and you got to keep your eye if Russia's going to weaponize food again. They have told the UN they are not happy with the grain deal that they have. That reminds me of the talk about shutting off the energies just before it happened. So I have a feeling that's where you're looking. You're getting more of a rally in the bonds and notes where the market is saying, okay, maybe the worst is there. Maybe we've baked in these terrible numbers, and just maybe this was the report where we saw the peak that came, if you will, on the inflation. I'm not there. I can't buy into it until I see it peak. Traders keep looking for the pivot in the Fed. Well, they keep looking for the pivot in the inflation. When it's there, we'll see it. Anticipating it, generally not healthy. What am I looking for in the rally in stocks? Ultimately, a selling opportunity again. Yes, a selling opportunity. Once the Fed makes a pivot, they're not going to negative. They're not going to start cutting rates, friends. They're going to hold those rates, however high they go, for a long period of time to make sure that the genie gets back in the bottle, that they put some wax on the top of the bottle, then they're going to put some wire around it, and they're going to make sure as best as they can that genie isn't getting out too soon. Now, if you don't believe me, that's fine, but that's what I happen to think they're going to do. Once you keep talking the Volcker experiment, and you saw what happened, and that is all over Jay Powell. He keeps mentioning it. That's his solution to making sure of what's going on. When we take a look this morning at the import-export prices, we didn't import as much inflation. Down 1.2%, a little less than what was expected at 1.1 decline. Export prices also down a little bit. The prior month they were down 1.6, they were down 0.8, and petroleum prices were down 7.5%. That was before, of course, the OPEC move. When we take a look at advanced retail sales headline, okay, the retail sales on their own flat. They expected it up 0.3, didn't quite match that. When you strip out autos, they were up 0.1. They expected it flat. And the retail sales in August were revised to a little bit stronger. Consumer was good. We get the business inventories data at 9 o'clock. University of Michigan consumer sentiment comes out at 9 o'clock. We get the Kansas City Fed speak, and bank earnings kicked off today with a number of the banks. Morgan Stanley's down as they had to take on more reserves than most of the other banks that have reported so far. Each bank has a slightly different makeup, and that's part of it. Then they got regulatory issues that they've resolved at different times. So the numbers, all in all, I don't think too bad. I know Jamie Dimon talking about the headwinds in the market and what he is seeing, the strong dollar and the like. So you put it all together, you try to come up with a game plan, and as I said, one of the greatest tools I've seen is how to work with these Bollinger Bands with momentum. And the first time you hit them, what do? Upside or downside? I think you should learn from that. How do you learn? Take a look at this. I will see you over the weekend with our weekend editions using the weekly charts on these wrap-ups. You take care. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time, and on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein, on the road to your education.